Hello and welcome to Nationwide. I am Olajide Bello. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live or any of our social media handles displayed on the screen for update. The National Inland Waterways Authority, NDLEA, and the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, are partnering on ways of enhancing safety in waterways while signing a memorandum of understanding between both agencies in Abuja. The Managing Director, NDLEA, George Morgalu, said information from NIMET and weather conditions will guide the authority to fulfill its mandate and reduce the speed of boat mishaps.
We have the information to work with. Information is power. When you talk about statistics, when you talk about data, that's the principal essence. Because when we have the data, for example, if we have information with regards to weather conditions, we can advise all our boat operators, don't put your vessel on the water at this time. NIMET has advised. We relate it. We also have an in-house weather department. So by the time we collaborate this information, we get the data. We distribute it to our area offices and they give it to our critical stakeholders and keep them informed. So basically, information is key and information is power.
We are doing in aviation. You remember per minute per second operation relies on our service, and we also want to continue to do this within the Nigerian inland waterways. We have a lot of potentials in providing early warning to safeguard and reduce extreme weather events that cause accidents and mishap of equipment and canoes, as we have witnessed recently, especially under climate change.
NDLEA Managing Director said he has set up 13 rescue stations in 24 offices across the country. The Memorandum of Understanding is expected to last for 2 years and could be reviewed. The Nigerian Army says it is committed to the constituted authorities as it remains the only means of promoting professionalism in the armed forces. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, said these are the passing out of 239 officers of the Executive Commission Course 1, 2023 at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. Dauda Mohammed reports.
Officers of Executive Course 1 2023, having undergone intensive training for 3 months in various disciplines of military tactics and instruction, are now passing out. The passing out parade witnessed the presentation of flag to Charlie as champion company during training, march past in slow and quick time, and award to the overall best cadet were the high points of the ceremony. Chief of Army Staff and Reviewing Officer, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, charged the graduating cadets to brace up for the arduous task be assigned to them as officers and pledge the Army's allegiance to the defense of democracy.
Let me at this point remind all officers and men of the Nigerian Army that subordination of the military to constituted authority remains the most fashionable means of promoting military professionalism. I'm unequivocal in my belief that the only thing better than democracy for our country in this modern era is more democracy. I therefore charge all Nigerian Army personnel to be proud champions of our flourishing democracy and remain apolitical in discharging their constitutional duty.
The graduates consist of both male and female non-commissioned officers eligible for the officer cadre. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
A seminar on migration management has given its position that managing the inflow of people is a key service in minimizing transborder crimes of terrorism and kidnapping. The Nigerian Immigration Service during the seminar expressed its commitment to handling migration management in line with international best practices. The Niger State Command of the service organized the seminar as part of activities to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the service in Nigeria. Hosseina Musa reports.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has over the years continued to witness reforms both structurally and operationally The last decade witnessed a robust initiative in legal framework embracing information technology as the driver of its operations and building the capacity of its personnel to enable them cope with the emerging immigration challenges with migration management using international best practices. This seminar therefore focused on how best to achieve a workable plan of enhancing seamless regular migration.
Immigration is taking everything about documentation of migrants seriously. And we assure you that in the next 2-3 months, we should have been completely through. We're registering every foreigner that is in Nigeria because we have the database. Policing our border is a haggling tax for the security men. Therefore, I justified the need to help our immigration and other security agencies with lot of logistics, particularly operational vehicles for them to cover the landmass.
Other activities lined up to mark the anniversary in the state include roadwalk, public enlightenment, special parade, and sporting activities. Imena Hossaina Musa, NTA News.
A coalition, the Concerned Friends Initiative, says it is gratifying that Benue State is reconnected to the government at the center from the People's Democratic Party and that Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has demonstrated capacity to lead the country to greater heights. Timothy Yusuf reports that the Civil Society Network for Good Governance on its part seeking the understanding of Nigerians towards the various reforms that the federal government is putting in place for the overall development of the country.
The need for Nigerians to unite and pursue a common agenda of development is the central message here. On the ministerial nominees, the Concerned Friends Initiative believes that there are still other appointments to be made and urged citizens to remain steadfast in their support for government.
It is no longer time for us to fight. Let's come together on a round table.
He appealed to the people of the North Central Zone and Benue State in particular to support the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, in his desire to serve the nation. The Civil Society Network for Good Governance is advocating citizen support to efforts of government towards sanitizing the oil and gas industry in Nigeria, especially regulations on curbing oil theft and losses through operational and administrative leakages. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Let's now head to Lagos, where Adiola is standing by with more reports. Adiola, it's over to you.
Thank you, Olajide. Experts have emphasized the significance of breastfeeding in the early stage of a child's development. This is as NTA Lagos Channel 10 joins the rest of the world to mark this year's World Breastfeeding Week. One before 1 year witnessed the event and brings us details.
Breastfeeding Week is celebrated every year from August 1st to August 7th to create awareness on the importance of breastfeeding. On the occasion of this year's celebration at NTA Lagos Channel 10, the General Manager, Tunji Adekoya, among other speakers, enjoined mothers to practice exclusive breastfeeding for the all-round growth and development of the child.
Breastfeeding is healthier. It makes the children healthier, and people, they will not send their children to hospital. It reduces hospital expenses and make the children develop mentally.
I do advise that they continue with the breastfeeding agenda which they have.
WHO advises a standard of 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding, and then you continue with a complementary feeding up to 2 years.
Highlight of the event was the presentation of awards to the nursing mothers.
Our advice, take care of this baby for us. Give enough breasts.
NTA Lagos Channel 10, and all our sponsors who have made today wonderful for mothers and children.
As well as artist performance, which added color to the day.
And I'm happy to be a mother. Today shows me that being a mother is a thing of honor.
Product sponsors and supporters were also present to boost the event with their products. In Lagos, Wabufonwoye, NTA News.
The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, says it is monitoring the recovery process of the 2 victims rescued from the Jabiru J430 air crash for detailed statement which will form the basis of its investigation. The Director General of the agency, Akin Olateru, says the absence of a cockpit voice recorder in the small light aircraft is limiting its analysis of ascertaining the immediate cause. Michael Olaleye reports that as a way of protecting evidences at crash site, Nigeria's Safety Investigation Bureau entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA.
An unusual crash, leaving behind little or no evidence to unravel the mystery. But in the interest of making recommendations to guide against a repeat in the future, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, is much determined to get to the root of the matter. The Director General said one of the victims of the crash has been discharged and will be providing vividly information needed for its investigation. This is in addition to understanding the components of the Jabiru J430 aircraft, which is relatively new in Nigeria.
It's too early in the day to tell you a remote cause. Investigation has just begun. There are a lot of things we have to do. It's almost a brand new aircraft, so we have to. Even the Civil Aviation Authority just recently been trained on that aircraft. So we have to send some of our team to South Africa, because that's where the aircraft was being made, to meet with the manufacturers to get some more detail in terms of performance of the aircraft.
Beyond this, NSIB noted that the preservation of evidences at crash sites is crucial to timely release of accident reports, and partnership with relevant emergency responders like LASEMA will complement its mandate. Under the Memorandum of Understanding, the agency will train about 200 staff on LASEMA on safety at accident sites, with focus on hazard awareness on how to protect themselves.
We are going to ensure that we respond to any form of emergency swiftly, promptly, effectively, efficiently, because when you train your personnel, they'll be professional in what they are doing.
Both parties will be working on the standard operating procedures, which will define responsibilities. But for now, LASEMA is proud of the collaboration, as it will enhance its disaster response management across various means of transportation. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Now to security. The Lagos State Police Command says it will not rest until the state is rid of all criminal elements and ensure the protection of lives and property of residents. The Force Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundehi gave the assurance while briefing the media on some of its latest operations in the state. Larry Bileyi reports that 39 suspects were paraded at the police headquarters in Ikeja.
Since the launch of Operation Flush in July by the Commissioner of Police to tackle pockets of criminal activities resurfacing in the state, the force has been recording successes. 39 suspects, including one female, were arrested for varying crimes, including murder, armed robbery, unlawful possession of arms, vandalization, and cultism. Items recovered are 6 locally made rifles, 26 live and 2 expended ammunitions, 4 vehicles, large quantity of hard and illicit substances, counterfeit currencies, among others. A case in particular is an Uber driver who has been conniving with members of his gang to rob unsuspecting victims of their valuables, was also arrested.
Take precaution. The moment a driver is saying, I have a flat tire, I need to stop, do all you can. Do all you can. It might be difficult, but do all you can to make sure they don't stop at an isolated area. We're calling on Lagosians to keep on giving us information so that we can do the needful, and together with the continuous support of members of the public and other stakeholders, we'll be able to make Lagos State remain on that highly coveted small list of safest states in the country.
The police public relations officer, Benjamin Hundeyi, hinted that Operation Flush also resulted in the recovery of 12 pieces of security belts, 5 pieces of lanyards, cocaine, and cutlasses during raid of criminal hideouts in Igomu area of the state. The Lagos Police Command says the suspect, after investigation, will be charged to court. In Lagos, Lanre Beleyi, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos for now. Do not forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Felicia in our Just Network Center is next, and she'll be bringing us reports from that zone. But that will be after this break. To stay on.
Our commitment is to promote the greatest good for the greatest number of our people. On principle, we shall never falter. We will get out of this turbulence. And due to the measures we have taken, Nigeria will be better equipped and able to take advantage of the future that awaits her.
Itself is life. Once you lose hope, you lose life. Once people get lifted to a certain level, they start feeling godlike.
What would you attribute this backwardness in education to in the north to date?
I feel balai.
What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
The program is Reflections.
Nigeria means a lot to me.
And Nigeria means peaceful cohesion.
My country.
We continue to pray, and then hopefully we will come to understand that unity of purpose, unity of living together.
Our ethnic beliefs and background and culture is our strength.
Ever since the amalgamation period of 1914 to date, about 109 years ago, the people of Nigeria live very peacefully with one another.
I think diversity helps a lot to enhance robust development in Nigeria.
All over the country, you have so many ethnic groups, over 250. That is enough to tell you that this is a blessed country, and that God has kept together as one indivisible entity.
Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Jos. And from here, we begin with health matters. Following the outbreak of anthrax disease, the National Veterinary Research Institute firm is producing vaccine to tackle the challenges caused by the disease in line with its mandates. Executive Director, National Veterinary Research Institute firm, Dr. Mariam Mohammed says the institute is increasing the capacity of vaccine production for wider coverage. Caleb Gochin reports.
The National Veterinary Research Institute, VOM, has been in existence since 1924, leading in research and production of animal vaccines in Nigeria. The outbreak of the anthrax disease is not different, as measures were immediately put in place to checkmate further spread.
Positive states are Lagos and Niger, which was the index case. The negative states are Kwara, Plateau, Benue, and Zamfara. We have also increased the number of tests that we can do. We have capacitated the laboratory, and we have concluded training for testing so that more of our personnel will be available round the clock.
Dr. Mariam Mohammed notes that the Institute is intensifying efforts to ensure that the scope of the test is wide enough to cover all suspected states, as the Institute has produced enough vaccines to go around.
For the states that have not yet had any sort of confirmation or a suspicion, we request that they remain vigilant and ensure that they send samples as soon as there's a suspicion of anthrax.
The Plateau State Chief Veterinary Officer, Dr. Sipak Shasiet in Jos, had earlier addressed butchers at Abuja, where he cautioned them against selling unhealthy animals for consumption and advised them to ensure that the market is kept clean at all times. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA.
In other news, Plateau State government says it is running an all-inclusive government on the basis of equity and justice. Governor Caleb Mutfwang emphasized this when he received on courtesy visit Catholic bishops from dioceses within the states. Grace Akwegotip reports.
At the government house were Catholic bishops of Shandam, Panshin, and the representative of Archbishop of Jos, Monsignor Cletus Gotan. They congratulated the governor over his emergence at the polls, calling on him to provide quality education, return of missionary schools, and the need to tackle insecurity in the states.
The people know that governance is a continuum, prompting the assurance that outstanding projects will continue to receive full attention from government.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang emphasized the need for unity and understanding, saying his administration is determined to provide quality education and ensure insecurity is tackled.
If there is any agent that must play the key role in uniting Plateau, it is the church. I believe that the more we de-emphasize our differences and look at the things that we have in common, the more we can be able to unite our people.
Special prayer for the governor and the success of his administration was offered by the clergy. In Jos, Grace Akwegotip, NTA News.
The resolve to ensure that there is fairness, irrespective of tribe or religion, is a prerequisite to building Plateau State. Governor Caleb Mutfwang stated this while receiving the Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Jos. Grace Akwegotip again reports.
Governor Mutfwang says government is hopeful that the cooperation and collaboration of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps with other sister agencies will help in taming the killings and destruction of properties that have threatened the peace of the state. He assures that affected and displaced people will return to their ancestral homes as government is committed to improving their well-being.
We do not discriminate against anyone. For us, Plateau belongs to all of us, irrespective of faith, irrespective of tribe.
Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Audi, says the purpose of his visit is to commiserate with the governor and the people of Plateau State over the killings in some parts of the states.
We also need to deploy additional experts who are well informed on intelligence gathering, so that we will contribute our quota to see that this menace is contained.
Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps says the Agro Rangers will double efforts to safeguard farmers. In Jos, Grace Akweguti, NTA News.
Those are the stories from here. Olajide is back to you in Abuja for what's left of the news.
Many thanks, Felicia. And moving on, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, has reiterated its commitment to driving greater participation of all Nigerians towards finding a common ground for change and support to achieve global target of ending HIV by 2030. Director General of the agency said this at the National HIV Alignment Forum in Abuja. Basi Taipang reports.
This meeting of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS and the representatives from the 36 states of the Federation and FCT is to improve efficiency and scale up HIV service coverage in the country. The forum also seeks increasing part of stakeholders' commitments to a restructured implementation of the HIV program in Nigeria towards achieving set targets.
We've started what we call alignment program the last 2 years. What that means is that we bring all implementers, whether they are local or they are foreign, under one national response. We make sure there are no duplication in terms of the services they provide at various states, and we make sure that there is one entity that continues to monitor progress and give us report.
It was an opportunity for states to speak out about their challenges and work out strategies that would enable the country to take responsibility for HIV response.
Why we are here today is the issue of ownership and sustainability of HIV response as far as the whole country is concerned. NACA has realized, and which is a reality.
The Forum of NACA and State Agency for the Control of AIDS is a critical decision-making and coordination platform for the national multi-sectoral HIV and AIDS response in Nigeria. Basi Taipa, NTA News.
Wife of the Niger State Governor, Fatima Omar Bago, has pledged her readiness to lead advocacy for the implementation of World Health Organization's recommendations in order to promote and support breastfeeding to reduce infant mortality in the state. The wife of the governor stated this at the commemoration of the annual World Breastfeeding Week held at a primary health facility in Mina, the state capital. Fatima Usman has the details.
World Breastfeeding Week is observed annually every first week of August to highlight the benefits of breastfeeding to both the mother and child. The theme for this year's week is Let's Make Breastfeeding and Work, thus shifting the focus on working mothers. It is in view of this that the World Health Organization called for the implementation of these recommendations that include extension of the maternity leave from the current 3 months to 6 months, establishment of crèches at workplaces for breastfeeding mothers, and increasing the centers for the management of malnutrition cases in communities. Wife of the Niger State Governor Fatima Umar Bago expressed her readiness to champion an advocacy that will limit maternal and child mortality rates in the state.
More women are taking up employment opportunities to support the economy and livelihood of their families. And as such, they should be encouraged to continue breastfeeding while at work. I therefore appeal that the workplace should be breastfeeding friendly in terms of infrastructural designs and policy drive.
High point of the occasion was the presentation of prizes to 3 top exclusively breastfed babies and consolation prizes to 30 others. In Mina, I'm Fatima Usman, NTA News.
And away from Mina, still talking breastfeeding, let's join Obey in our Benin Network Center.
Olajide, welcome to Benin. Against the backdrop of this year's World Breastfeeding Week, our correspondent on a special assignment sought to know just how career mothers are able to combine exclusive breastfeeding with the challenge of work. Ifoma Okafo has that report.
Breastfeeding plays a role of considerable significance in ensuring that a child develops properly and according to World Health Organization standard. It contains antibodies which help protect infants from infections and illnesses, creating a strong immune system from an early age. This year's World Breastfeeding focuses on breastfeeding and work, educating mothers on the importance of breast milk for infants. It also amplifies the advocacy for essential maternity rights, which accommodates breastfeeding at workplaces.
That first breast milk that the baby takes from the mother contains a lot of vitamins.
It helps fight against diseases in infantry.
Breastfeeding is also a means of family planning. Yes, and it's very good for the child. It prevents diarrhea and other sickness.
Other nursing mothers say breastfeeding and working at the same time is strenuous, but they do find ways to cope.
It's really not easy. So there is a way you can breastfeed your milk and put it on. You can put it on what's it called, the cup, or you just keep it on the fridge. Then if your mom wants to give the child breast milk, bring it out, just warm it.
As the world marks the World Breastfeeding Week, experts reiterated that babies be breastfed exclusively for the first 6 months and then continuously breastfed for 2 years. This, they say, comes with huge benefits. In Benin, Ifoma Ukafo, NTA News.
Still on health matters, Edo State government has begun enforcement against quackery and malpractices in the medical profession. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ali Samuel, leading the Directorate of Regulation and Monitoring in the Ministry of Health, closed down 3 facilities for failing to register with the state government and meet infrastructure, personnel and other stipulated requirements for operation. Agatha Igwaroju completes the report.
The Commissioner and his team were first at Tino Medical Center on St. Xavier Road, Upper Sapomba. It was discovered that the facility, apart from not being registered, has only 1 qualified nurse, while other nurses and medical staff hold no qualification, with student nurses undergoing training there. Also, the theatre and wards are unkept and in a bad state. The Chief Medical Director would not to press. The facility was sealed after patients were discharged, as government insists it is no longer business as usual.
People need to know that there are standards to medical practice, which we all know, but because there has not been regulation, no one has taken the bull by anything goes, and we cannot allow that to continue to happen.
The team then moved to General Medical Center and Maternity, 110 Nomayo Street on Upper Sakwamba. The story is saying medical officers operating there do not have the requisite qualifications and infrastructure yearning for overhaul. The team's attention was drawn to the case of a woman admitted for days in a critical condition, gasping for breath and swollen stomach. At the Medics Healthcare and Diagnostics at 203 Upper Sakwamba, the Commissioner queried qualifications of laboratory scientists at the facility not registered. Government says in the coming days, more facilities will be closed down and it will drive enforcement even to the grassroots to safeguard the health of people from quacks. In Benin, Agatha Egwari Uju, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Nana in Sokoto right after this break.
Allah gives power. He endowed people with knowledge and capacity to think for our people. We must not fail, and we will not fail. Your children will get more rewards than what you have, because they have a future in this country now. Yes.
We are Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. We are political parties. We are the pathway to political power. IPAC, in line with its core mandate, is carrying out peer review mechanism for elected political office holders. Performance of the President of Nigeria, state governors, state and National Assembly members will be assessed comparatively. This will trigger healthy competition amongst our elected politicians to deliver dividends of democracy like good roads, good healthcare delivery system, good schools, full employment, security, and so on. This prestigious program will soon be shown live on television stations across Nigeria. IPAC, deepening and consolidating democracy.
In 2017, Richard Ogayemi started his farming business, a self-constructed pyramid house for poultry farming, until he was diagnosed with osteoporosis. And in our new story, we visit Ifeanyi Obiojogu, who before venturing into the fish farming business, worked as a machine operator. He became passionate about fish farming and he partnered with a friend who was also in the same business. We'll see you next week on Airtel Touching Lives.
Touching Lives. From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Many thanks for being there. NDLEA operatives have apprehended a fake couple attempting to travel to India who had ingested cocaine and concealed some in the woman's lower body parts. Both suspects involved in the illicit drug business were said to have been recruited through church connections with a promise of $5,000 to the woman, while the man was promised $2,000 in successful delivery in India. NDLEA also intercepted consignments of heroin, meth, and cannabis concealed in various objects destined for New Zealand, Greece, and Hong Kong. In Kano State, 5 individuals were arrested with large quantity of cannabis. Additionally, tramadol, raphanol, XO5 pill, and codeine-based syrup were also seized from a suspect traveling from bus by Onitsha to Abuja. Social communication has continued to have effect on the political and cultural system of the society. The book, Cyber Politics, presented to public in Abuja, hopes to submit a new audacious political communication theory to shape voting decisions. Deborah Balagbobo has details.
Communication, like most things that support life, is central to human survival. The social communication technology have affected society and culture in more fundamental ways. Questions continue to linger on whether or not social media affects elections, particularly in voting behavior. The 12-chapter book, with 460 pages, is exploratory and explanatory.
It's a book that offers a deeper conversation into the some of the factors that influence us, either mobilize or influence us to vote.
As having just come out of an election myself, I recognize the opportunity that is provided by social media, but also worry about its adverse impact. The issues around fake news.
How many people on social media bother to pay attention to the difference between liberal democracy and illiberal democracy? All this is captured. These are all contemporary theories trying to help us capture the essences of the world we are in.
We found social media to have constituted less than 10% in helping voters to decide who to vote for.
The author, Ibiatan, hopes that the book will provide understanding of the new techno-social factors that shape Nigeria democracy, Africa, and other continents. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubo, NTA News.
Nigeria recently removed the fuel subsidies, sparking debate and mixed reactions among citizens and professionals, while the current situation is affecting Nigerians. Experts say there is several benefits to fuel subsidy removal. President Bola Tinubu enumerated these benefits in his broadcast to Nigerians. Lydia Sampson has more on these and how it affects other sectors of the economy.
Federal and state governments in Nigeria rely heavily on oil revenues to fund their operations and deliver public services. Experts say this dependence creates a precarious situation, as fluctuation in oil prices directly impact government's ability to provide essential services. In addition to that, government often incur huge revenue shocks compounded by petroleum subsidy and the final removal by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We have saved over 1 trillion naira that would have been squandered on the unproductive fuel subsidy, which only benefited smugglers and fraudsters. That money will now be used more directly and more beneficially for you and your families.
Investment in infrastructure. The president said that the funds saved from the removal of subsidy will be used to invest in infrastructure such as roads, bridges, power plants, and this will create jobs and stimulate economic growth. The president's broadcast to the nation has been met with mixed reactions from Nigerians.
NMPC will continue to replicate similar viable business opportunities across the nation to enable access and affordability of energy across the country. And they will all be commercial, and they will cause no pain to Nigerians.
It will not only create opportunities for engineers, artisans, laborers, and expatriate staff or non-expatriate or unskilled staff, but even for the market woman that will come here to sell her food.
It's a very good one because the president, first and foremost, pleaded to Nigerians to be patient with him, because these two policies are very important for our nation to grow, especially removal of fuel subsidy, as well as the abolition of dual currency exchange.
Some have applauded the government for taking bold steps to address corruption and invest in key sectors of the economy.
Pronouncement of the president on the withdrawal of subsidy, those are good successes that have been achieved. At the same time, I would expect that he will move quickly to ensure that the refineries at least are working.
We have a solution that will alleviate the suffering of Nigerian people, this CNG. And we can't have this good thing without letting people who are supposed to know about it.
Government has promised that these hardships are temporary, reiterating that measures being put in place will soon start benefiting Nigerians. Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Agriculture is one of the sectors that is feeling the heat of fuel subsidy removal. The high cost of the fuel has resulted to the increase in farming inputs affecting cost of production. However, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has revealed short and long-term measures being taken to address the challenges. Musa Aliu has the details.
The removal of fuel subsidy has affected prices of farming inputs such as chemicals, fertilizer, and other farming tools. This has therefore brought about concerns over possible food inflation in the country. Consequently, the federal government has identified short and long-term measures believed it will cushion the effects of subsidy removal on agricultural activities. The Central Bank of Nigeria has been directed to release 200 billion naira to farmers for the cultivation of maize, rice, wheat, and cassava.
Our plan to support cultivation of 500,000 hectares of farmland and all year-round farming practice remain on course.
Farmers associations welcomed the federal government initiative.
The proposal by Mr. President to release 50 billion naira
to boost rice production in Nigeria is a welcome development, and
the government is also providing 225,000 metric tons of fertilizer, seeds and other inputs to farmers.
The group requests that the planned release of 200,000 metric tons of grains from strategic reserve to households across the 36 states and the FCT to demonstrate prices.
This is coming as the Federal Ministry of Agriculture under ATAS 1 commenced the distribution of farming inputs to farmers at 80% discount. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
As part of its intervention plan to cushion effects of the subsidy removal, federal government has designed programs that will address critical sectors of the economy. NDLEA quackery takes a look at how the recently signed executive orders by President Bola Tinubu will impact the manufacturing sector of the economy.
Manufacturing sector is a major driver of the Nigerian economy, contributing more than 32 trillion naira to the nation's GDP. Apart from providing large number of jobs for a good percentage of youths, it is the most vulnerable to any policy change or forex restructuring. To encourage greater interest, more output, while creating enabling environment for businesses to thrive,
we are going to energize this important sector with 125 billion.
To further ensure that prices of food items remain affordable, government is also engaging stakeholders within the agricultural value chain by targeting small enterprises while boosting the capacity of large-scale private sector players.
All of this would actually help to reduce the hardship that we're going through right now.
Either you produce, whatever you produce to make the sales is very, very difficult. Before. These are the problems that Mr. President has cancelled.
The Infrastructure Support Fund for states to intervene in critical areas, experts say, will bring the much-needed relief to Nigerians.
It's a structure we now need to put together to ensure that the money will be efficiently disbursed, it will go to the right segment and it will be able to achieve what is set out to achieve.
It is expected that the social safety net of government will improve the conditions of rural access roads and ease the mobility of farm producers to larger markets in the cities. Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
We'll take a break now. Nationwide continues shortly.
Allah gives power. He endowed people with knowledge and capacity to think for our people. We must not fail, and we will not fail. Your children will get more rewards than what you have, because they have a future in this country now.
We are Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. We are political parties. We are the pathway to political power. IPAC, in line with its core mandate, is carrying out peer review mechanism for elected political office holders. Performance of the President of Nigeria, state governors, state and national assembly members will be assessed comparatively. This will trigger healthy competition amongst our elected politicians to deliver dividends of democracy like good roads, good healthcare delivery system, good schools, full employment, security, and so on. This prestigious program will soon be shown live on television stations across Nigeria. IPAC, deepening and consolidating democracy.
In 2017, Richard Ogayemi started his farming business, a self-constructed pyramid house for poultry farming, until he was diagnosed with osteoporosis. And in our new story, we visit Ifeanyi Obiojogu, who before venturing into the fish farming business, worked as a machine operator. He became passionate about fish farming and he partnered with a friend who was also in the same business. We'll see you next week on Airtel Touching Live.
Touching Lives. From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. Intelsat 901/332.5 degrees east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Glad to know you're still there. The APC Amalgamated Support Group are seeking the face of Allah for direction and purpose as they organized a national prayer for the success of the current administration and its resolve to provide good governance. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
Of the enemy, Father Lord, across board, Father Lord, we stand against it in Jesus' name.
Nigerians, as a people of faith, are again demonstrating their firm belief in the potency of prayer to surmount all challenges. Members of the APC Amalgamated Support Group converged on the Unity Fount in Abuja, first for a national prayer request for God's divine intervention in Nigeria's challenges and prosperity.
We need prayer in this country because of the insecurity. We need prayer for the peaceful coexistence of Nigerians. We need prayers for God to ease our suffering.
Apart from the solemn moments with God, members reiterate their commitment to the leadership model of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu while urging citizens to join hands in the task of nation building.
The next couple of months or thereabout, we're beginning to see a bit of help coming from everywhere.
We believe that Nigeria is one, and our stake in this country is the same.
The group says it will also help the administration through constant reminder on the need to meet the yearnings of Nigerians in an era of renewed hope. Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Women journalists have been described as vital tools in the transformation agenda and national development. Christ the King Parish Pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, amongst other stakeholders, made the submission at the National Thanksgiving Service of the National Association of Women Journalists in Abuja. Deborah Balagbobo reports.
The Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, has existed for 33 years without an identifiable operational office. Now, the association has acquired a temporary national office and a permanent site to erect its national secretariat complex in Abuja. For the members, it could only be a feat achieved through God's intervention. They are here, therefore, to show gratitude to God. National President of NAWOJ, Ladi Bala, says it was an auspicious celebration for her and particularly for the association as it grows into a great platform that continues to contribute its quota to nation building.
We want to see NAWOJ engaging with donor agencies, international organizations, and every other organization that is existing in Nigeria. I also want to build the capacity of women journalists. And two and a half years down the line, we realize that God has done this thing for us.
The steed was made possible through the efforts of some personalities who were recognized for their various roles.
It's a testimony that God has really answered my prayers, and this is the beginning of great things to happen in the lives of Nigerian women.
Over the years, Nigerian women have proven in every strata of human development our capability to perform in any situation, in any office, in any responsibility that is bestowed on us.
NAWOJ is one of the organizations that we need to empower, and I was vehement in it, and I'm still with them. To see them, just giving them a secretariat, and now I think this is the greatest privilege.
NAWOJ prayed that more well-meaning individuals will support the association with the needed resources, especially as it prepares towards developing the permanent site of the Secretariat complex in Abuja. Deborah Balagbobo, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has saluted the female national basketball team, the Tigers of Nigeria, for their well-deserved victory at the 2023 FIBA Women's Afro Basketball Tournament just concluded in Rwanda. In a statement, the First Lady says the success of the team is a clear evidence of dedication, commitment and team spirit, stating that the win is a proof that success is on the horizon for Nigeria in every aspect, especially as the Super Falcons will be taking on England on Monday in the Group of 16 stage of the ongoing FIFA Women World Cup. The First Lady used the opportunity to wish the Super Falcons victory in the match. This is the fourth consecutive victory of the Tigers national basketball team at the FIBA Afro Basketball Tournament. And that concludes Nationwide. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.